Hello everyone, Shadow here, and welcome to another Transport Fever 2 Pseudo New York update. We really ought to talk about the name of this series. Maybe I should put it up for a vote. Well, anyways, today I have for you a kind of bit of a throwback video of what I did with both the G line and downtown Brooklyn. But before we begin today, I just want to take a moment just to say thank you to all of you who recently subscribed, liked, or commented on my channel. It really does mean a lot. And I would also like to extend a special thank you to those of you who work in those essential jobs that keep our society flowing through these difficult times. Your work is truly appreciated. And with that said, some housekeeping. Please like, subscribe, and share. Doing so will really help my channel. You may have also noticed that I created a new playlist. Link up above. So what you're seeing is actually some work I did last month on the G line. I really didn't like the angle in which I previously laid out the G. Primarily due to the fact that when I was designing the Nassau Street line, that is the J and the Z, I found that the crosstown line, that is the G line, was not really lining up. Now, some distortion is to be expected. I mean, this is a pseudo series after all. But the level of distortion here was too much, even for this pseudo series. The end result? Had to tear down the old G, change the angle a little bit, and then put it back up in a more pseudo-realistic position. Trust me, it was better this way. Anyways, let's just zoom out a little bit, just make sure the angles are a little bit more correct, and lay down these stations. And just eyeballing it just to see what would be acceptable distance. There. Now, it's not meant to be perfect in any way, but I would like to make it enjoyable if we took a ride down this line. You get the picture. So let's take a look at what I've been doing downtown Brooklyn. Downtown Brooklyn, my current stomping grounds. Actually, where I currently work is smack dab in between the DeKalb Avenue and Metrotech stations. So I frequent those stations regularly. And due to the density of this area of Brooklyn, it is very challenging to lay out the lines in Transport Fever 2. So a lot of stations will be cut. It's one of the primary reasons why I focus only on the B division lines, which is the letter lines of the city. It's just too many lines. With the primary issue being that the stations are widely distorted from where they're actually positioned. This distortion extends to my take on the Manhattan Bridge. It's actually longer in real life than what I have portrayed here in the game. And that's so that the tracks and the roads can actually ascend and descend accordingly, and allowing them to line up with the appropriate stations on either end. Of which I will have the 6th Avenue line extend all the way up here, connecting at West 4th, and bringing it over here where Broadway Lafayette is, and put Grant Street over there. Along with the F line, I'm going to extend it through here and connect it with the York Street station over there. So in a previous video, I had mentioned that this will be the 3rd time I am building New York in Transport Fever, or in this case, Transport Fever 2. And in each and every single take, DeKalb Avenue is the hardest for me to do. That's mainly due to all the train switches that are located at DeKalb Avenue and the room in between which I have to work with to get those switches to work properly. Not to mention, all of that has to ascend to actually be in line with the Manhattan Bridge. I guess you guys can hear my frustration. It's a lot of work. And I'll be honest with you guys, as it stands right now, I don't like the outcome, so it's likely to change. In fact, in truth, the only time I got it right was on my very first try in Transport Fever 1 on the first original New York map I did 3 years ago now. And by right, I mean getting the tracks to line up with each other, do the correct switching without crisscrossing each other in each other path. That way you can have a northbound and a southbound train traveling without interruption. I didn't accomplish that here. In fact, it took me multiple tries just to accomplish what I just settled for after all of that. I was at this for an entire day, just so you guys know. And attempt after attempt after attempt. This is really trying. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, why don't you just push DeKalb Avenue back? Well, that would put it too close to where I planned to place Atlantic Avenue Barclay Center. And that in itself, having all the lines diverge at that point would make it really, really difficult. So no, DeKalb Avenue has to be in this location. So we're just going to skip ahead at this point. You don't need to see me going through this for hours. So more or less, this is the current configuration of what DeKalb Avenue switches look like. It really isn't nice to look at, but it works for now. Like I said, I'll probably end up redesigning it at some point, but for now, I gave up. And here's an aerial view of how downtown Brooklyn and Manhattan looks like. It actually doesn't look like this anymore. I had to get rid of the cities. That is a another issue entirely. But, you know, remember what I was talking about with that population limiter mod? Yeah, it became so laggy that I had to take down the cities. And right after I took down the cities, a population limiter mod came out, and I already did a lot of work. So I repopulated a lot of the areas with just small towns with the adjusted values for their populations, and it will take a while for the cities to regrow. But for now, you guys have this to look at. So that's it for today. I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. It really does help my channel. And I'll leave you with a cab view of the ride over the Manhattan Bridge into DeKalb Avenue, and a passenger ride to show you what's around at DeKalb Avenue. I hope you enjoy.